What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about, is there a possible chance that the Pittsburgh Steelers could still win the AFC North? So let's see what they have to say about that.
No matter what I'm seeing from them, I don't see a team that's going to upend or usurp the Baltimore Ravens. That's really what it comes down to, and I don't believe that the wild card is coming from the AFC North. So that's where that notion comes from in terms of pretender status. I cannot say enough, and I'm looking for all the damn sorry, you-know-what naysayers out there that was questioning Mike Tomlin, who's won about 65% of his games, and you got people looking at him talking about he's supposed to be on the hot seat. Excuse me.
So Mike Tomlin's resume speaks for itself. You guys might want to check that out.
You won a game against the Chargers this year with a third-string quarterback. Okay, Ben Roethlisberger goes down.
Who just beat the Packers, by the way.
Mason Rudolph sits up there and gets concussed. All right, Devlin Hodges comes in there, wins a game, loses that particular game that Mason Rudolph got concussed, but comes back the next game against the Chargers. They handle their business. You start off 0-3. You've won 4 of your last 5. There is no Big Ben Roethlisberger. LeVeon Bell is mired in purgatory playing for Adam Gase and the New York Jets. Antonio Brown has been exiled from football. We don't know when the hell he'll be back after the antics he engaged in. And still, you are the Pittsburgh Steelers, and look at you. You're better than Cleveland. Cincinnati is obviously just completely irrelevant. You're not the Ravens, no question, but it takes the greatness of Lamar Jackson for you not to be the Ravens. I just can't say enough about the greatness of Mike Tomlin yet again, but the bottom line is this. When you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, while you give them their respect for being a 500 team and overcoming the obstacles that you have to overcome, in the end, you're going up against somebody. And in this particular instance, it's the Baltimore Ravens who are real. And that is why I'm there.
I'm going to get the top.
So I would not outcount the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would never outcount the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially with Mike Tomlin. So he's a great coach. His resume speaks for itself. If you don't know, go Google Mike Tomlin. But as far as them possibly, it would be no problem if this year was a wash or a throwaway year because of all the firepower that they lost and losing Antonio Brown, losing Le'Veon Bell, and losing now Ben Roethlisberger. That's like pretty much your whole team right there. That's your whole team right there. And Mike Tomlin still has those boys sitting at 500? I mean, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. If that's not a feat right there, that's a huge feat. I mean, like I said, this year would have been a wash or a throwaway year. If those guys went 0-16, I would not have a problem with it because of how much firepower they lost. I mean, look at the, I hate to switch sports, but look at the Golden State Warriors. Those guys lost a lot of firepower too. And look how they're doing right now. But you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they lost just as much amount of firepower, and those guys are sitting at 500, ready to make some moves. So, I don't know. Let's continue.
Tomlin in a second. Let me first say, no, they are contenders, even if they're not contenders to win the AFC North outright. The AFC West is no great shakes. Like, I don't know. The wild card could come out of the AFC North. Look at this schedule. They're at Browns, at Bengals. Then
Who's schedule, Matt?
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Then they have the Browns at home. They're at Cardinals. Then they have the Bills, at Jets, and then at Baltimore, which, it's the rivalry game. So their schedule is pretty good. It's very good. It's a favorable schedule. Yes. And they could easily win the wild card. A 4-4 team right now in the AFC could come out of the North. Look, now I want to get to Tomlin. You know what? Is it Belichick or Brady? To me, that was answered years ago when Belichick went 11-5 with Matt Castle.
Oh, God, here we go.
Never did anything else, right? Is it Tomlin or Roethlisberger? I don't hear a lot. I have heard, Tomlin won with his predecessors' teams, right? Oh, no. Now we get the answer. Like Harbaugh, these two teams, the Steelers and the Ravens, always compete because they have great coaches. Like, everyone knows Belichick's in a category by himself. The question is, who's the second best coach in the NFL? Is it Tomlin? Is it Harbaugh? Is it Sean Payton? Is it Pete Carroll? Like, different flavors of coaches. But you know what's in common? Their teams compete year in and year out. The NBA, it's about the players. Major League Baseball, it's about the GM. That's what you really have to look at. In the NFL, more than anything else, it is your head coach.
Oh, come on, Max. I mean, you're really reaching. So Bill Belichick has Tom Brady, arguably the GOAT. Mike Tomlin has Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, definitely a for sure fire Hall of Famer. He's got 2 rings. I mean, come on, Max. You cannot deny, if anything, they go hand in hand. If anything, it's not just the coach, because I'm pretty sure if Bill Belichick would have fallen off right now and he can't coach the rest of the season, I'm pretty sure that Tom Brady is going to be all right. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to go deep in the playoffs, if not make it to another Super Bowl. And I'm pretty sure they could have done that in years past too without Bill Belichick. As long as they have Tom Brady and players on their team, I think it's probably going to be Tom Brady. And I kind of say the same thing with Ben Roethlisberger. If Ben Roethlisberger was playing and Mike Tomlin wasn't there for whatever reason, he was sick, whatever, I'm pretty sure they'd still be able to do what they need to do, because the quarterback is the actual guy that's on the field and is applying what's happening. So let's continue.
Look at this job Tomlin is doing. Before you get to the injury, he lost LeVeon Bell for nothing. He lost AB for nothing. The premier running back / receiver, whatever you want to call Le'Veon Bell, and wideout in the NFL of their generation. And then his quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, goes down, and then the backup goes down, and he's sitting at 4-4. That man that you're looking at right there is a great head football coach. So the Steelers are contenders.
So I don't disagree with Mike Tomlin being a great head coach, but I'm just saying all pieces are needed. Okay, let's not just throw everything on the head coach, because the quarterback is the guy that's directly into applying everything that the head coach and what everybody else schemes to play and beat other teams. So Tom Brady is needed with Bill Belichick, and Ben Roethlisberger is needed with Mike Tomlin. Trust me, they're sitting at 4-4, but let's see how they finish up. I do believe Mike Tomlin can lead them. They can make some moves, but let's not act like it's 90-10 with the head coach being needed more than the guy that's actually in there applying what they scheme up. So let's continue.
I'm so proud to sit here and listen to this, because you guys have said what I've always known when I played in Pittsburgh, is that he was a great coach. I've never understood how a coach can take a team to the playoffs and still be on the hot seat, or even talking about losing his job, winning 65% of his games, and people want his head. For time and time again, I'd always hear, I want to see how good Big Ben is without AB and without Le'Veon. And this was supposed to be the year that we find that out. But what we found out is how good is Coach Tomlin coaching? Because Ben is gone, Le'Veon is gone, like you said, and AB is gone, and they're 4-4. I'm saying they're contenders because they have a favorable schedule, and that last game usually come down to who's going to make the best play. I remember Antonio Brown, when I played there, extending his hand across the line for Christmas and getting us into a playoff game, and Coach Tomlin was on the hot seat then. And I can't figure out how there's teams that don't even go 500. Like, his worst record is 8-8. It's 500. That's his worst record. And there's coaches out there that don't even sniff that are fine and not even on the hot seat.
Pat Shermer
I've never understood.
So what is it, Jeff Fisher, that was the head coach for the Tennessee Titans for a while, and this guy was sitting, he consistently win like 3 games a season and was just absolute terrible, and was consistently a head coach and consistently hired. But here you have Mike Tomlin, like I said, his records never went below 500, and they're talking about he's on the hot seat. So I don't know. Again, it doesn't make sense. It's politics. But like I said, I would never outcount the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin. So the rest of the schedule looks very, very appealing for them to be able to make some moves. They play the Browns 2 more times, I think, or 1 more time. They play the Jets. They play a couple of teams right there that they can get a couple easy wins in there, maybe 1 or 2 games in there that it's really going to be tough, but they still have room and time to make some moves in the AFC North and just in the AFC in general. So I don't know. Let's continue.
Patrick has lost more than twice as much as he's won. More than twice as much.
And he still has a job.
And he's got another
The thing
job.
about it is, for me,
I don't understand.
As much as I respect and have love for Mike Tomlin, where it really took a point, there's little things that you look at as a reporter when you're covering a team and you're out there and you watch and you look for certain things, particularly in the sport of basketball, when people are walking away, walking off the court, walking back to a bench. You watch their mannerisms and their interactions with coaches and things of that nature. I remember in 2013 when the Pittsburgh Steelers started off 0-4. They started off 0-4, and I remember them walking off the field. I believe it was against Chicago, because the next game was against Minnesota, but it was against Chicago. And they started off at 0-3, and then they lost to Minnesota. And I remember them walking off the field, and Mike Tomlin was just walking. He said a word to anybody. He was just looking at guys, staring at them, looking into their eyes. And they asked him after the game, he said, I want to see you quit. I want to see you quit. Right. You ain't going to do that here. You see what I'm saying? And so when you see stuff like that, you got to appreciate it. You know why? Because when you turn around and you look at so many places around the NFL, you see a whole bunch of coaches that don't have no business being a head coach in the National Football League. Absolutely. They don't have any motivational skill sets whatsoever. They don't inspire. They're not big on accountability. They pass bucks. They clearly nepotism and things of that nature are the things that facilitate them getting the jobs. But then you see somebody like him, and you can understand why the Roonies and everybody else had this interview and said, this dude right here, we got to hire this dude. We had Chuck Noll, we had Bill Cowher, we got this guy.